Hello there, Eddie Mercado here with BloodyElbow.com, and today I will be speaking with the 10-2 UFC lightweight Scott Hot Sauce Holtzman as he is headed to UFC Fresno on December 9th to take on Darrell Horcher. So let's give Scott a call and find out what he's been up to since his last fight. Find out a little bit more about his hot sauce sponsorship deal and maybe what he has in store for UFC Fresno. Mr. Scott Hot Sauce Holtzman, how are you, sir?
Doing good, man. Thanks for having me on. It's good to see you again.
Good to see you as well. Thank you for taking out the time. And you are headed into UFC Fresno December 9th, taking on Darrell Horcher. How are things?
Things are good, man. I'm just winding down camp. Last hard day of sparring today. Finished strong. Weight's good. Feeling mean. Pissed off. Ready to go.
I dig it. I dig it. Now, tell me a little bit about this hot sauce deal. I spoke with your roommate, Drakkar Close, recently, and he said you're leaving your hot sauce bottles everywhere. He's tripping over them. Okay, maybe he didn't say he's tripping over them. But what's going on with the hot sauce gig?
Oh man, I eat a lot of hot sauce, so if you're living with me, you're gonna be subjected to it. But we got some good flavor in here right now, man. Everybody likes a different sort of hot sauce, so any day, probably now we got four or five bottles of different hot sauces on the table. So those guys, whether they like it or not, it's going to be around.
Awesome. That's so unique. I definitely dig it. All right, so the last time we saw you in the octagon, it was UFC Nashville, a bit of a home game for you. It was your second time fighting in Nashville, right?
Yeah. Yep. Second time.
Yeah. Was it easier the second time around, or no difference? Just another day at the office?
I don't think it was necessarily easier. There's a lot of pressure. People talk about it all the time. There's a lot of pressure when you fight at home. You got Tom, Dick, and Harry asking for tickets, asking if they can walk out with you, and asking if they can come to the hotel, and all kinds of weird stuff. But I was a little bit deeper on the card this time. My first fight, I was first out, so got to get it over with. But about midway through this time, man, the crowd was so crazy, and it felt so loud in there to me. So that support, man, always drives you a little extra. So it's been an interesting dynamic, because I fought Josh Emmett in his hometown, and he had a whole bunch of fans, and people yelling at me and cursing at me, and I think somebody threw something at me one time too. If I catch that guy, I'm still looking for him. No, but to go from that, and that was a cool experience in itself. To back to a home game for me was cool. Now it's kind of neutral territory, so we'll just get in there and duke it out for all the random fans.
Yeah. Well, in Nashville, you fought Michael McBride, and you pretty much ran the table on him. You really let your hands fly. You were out there bobbing and weaving. He scored a couple takedowns, but you usually either reversed it or you got back to your feet. What did it feel like running the table at home? I mean, you even picked up a 30-26 on one of the judges' scorecards.
It felt good, man. I'm just never going to be happy. I don't know if any high, unless you get a knockout in a few seconds, you're never really happy with it. I'm a perfectionist, so I knew I had a lot of work to do. Obviously, I need finishes. I hit him about as hard as I could hit him. And he'd fall down, or he'd go cross-eyed or spin around, and then he'd still be there. So, been working on some little details in my technique and things to try to get a little more pop. So, I'm looking to put guys away, man. If I don't put somebody away, I'm unhappy. So, I've been unhappy for a while because I've had a string of decisions. So I'm pissed off. I got something to prove.
Okay, yeah, it was crazy, the toughness that McBride was displaying. I mean, you pretty much hit him with everything. You dropped him multiple times. I mean, yeah, It was almost like target practice at one point out there. Um, I mean, what do you think you could have done differently to have put him away, if anything, or is he just that tough?
I don't know, man. I mean, you see these guys in the UFC, and they look like one thing on TV, but everybody's in the UFC for a reason. Guys are either super tough, they're super skilled, or they have a really special talent at one thing or all things. So um, some guys make it their own toughness, some guys make it their own skills, or a little bit of everything. So you never know. Obviously, maybe I could have strung a few more shots together. So who knows? Got the win, man. A win in the UFC is huge. So I appreciate that, but at the same time, I'm not in the UFC just to participate. You know what I mean? I'm not looking for a participation ribbon. I'm out there to dust some guys. So I'm not happy unless that happens.
Understandable. Now you're heading back to California, UFC Fresno. Darrell Horcher is on your plate. Now he had a really rough UFC debut. He got Habib Nurmagomedov. Habib basically took his lunch, and then he went on and went to war with Devin Powell. Ended up picking up the split decision, I think. Did well on top, did well in the clinch. What do you think of the guy? What do you think of his style?
I think it's a tough fight, man. Obviously, on paper, he's 13-2. I'm 10-2, so on paper, he looks a little better. Real good left hand, so I'm gonna have to watch out for that. He's kind of his game's centered around that. But he does some other things well too. Obviously, showed some good top controls and things like that. It's going to be a good shootout. But I think when it comes to the entire shooting match, I think I'm a little more well equipped. So, we'll see. We got a little something for him.
Okay, now you're you train at the MMA lab. You're in Phoenix, Arizona. How is camp going for this, and who are some of the guys that are helping you prepare?
Yeah, camp's going awesome, man. I know teams like American Top Team and some of these other guys. They get a lot of recognition. We had one fight drop, a girls' fight, but we have like 8 or 9 guys in the next 4 weeks. We had Bruce Leroy last weekend, obviously lost in China, but 8 or 9, I think, UFC fighters in the next 4 cards or so. So,
wow.
I mean, you tell me another gym that's consistent like that. I've done a lot of rounds of Ben Henderson, wrestling, striking, sparring, everything. Keone Diggs, Dan Moret, Mike Hamill, Division I wrestler, a whole bunch of other guys too. I mean, there's so many good guys around. Been doing quite a bit of boxing too with my boy Allen, bare knuckle boxing. Henry Cejudo's down there. John Moraga, Courtney Casey was going over there. He's got a lot of good boxers too. Keone's there, so I've been doing a lot of training, man. Camp's going well. I'm excited to showcase some new stuff, man. I improve every fight. I like to kind of take pride in that, and this is the same thing.
Okay, so how do you see this playing out? Will you be getting the finish this time?
I'm always going for a finish, man. I think, if you watch me fight, you know what you're getting. You know there's going to be some excitement in there. I'm going to take some calculated risks. I'm going to be looking to take his head off. So you know what you're getting with me. I think that's why that's pretty high up. So I'll be looking for an old-fashioned Western shootout, and I'll be taking some chances trying to put him away for sure.
Yeah, I don't believe Scott Holtzman can do boring. Not that I've seen anyways, so I'm definitely looking forward to it. But what would you want next? Is there anybody out there in the lightweight division that you want to fight, or whoever's next is next, or what's your approach to this?
No, we got some guys in mind, but I'm weird about that. I don't like to overlook anybody. Obviously, the UFC, everybody's good, so got some things in mind, but you got to take it one fight at a time. But I'm gonna jump on that mic afterwards and see if I can ruffle some feathers.
Awesome. That seems to be the way nowadays. Kind of pick your own poison, so to speak.
Yeah, you gotta be careful what you ask for these days. But at the same time, closed mouths don't get fed. So it's an unfortunate thing. Some of us are just hardcore competitors. We don't necessarily like to talk, but it just seems like you got to do it these days if you want to make a little money to live on.
Yeah, it's true. It's definitely true. Well, you got any sponsors or people that you would like to give a special thank you to right now?
Yeah, on it, man. They've been taking good care of me. 3 Fuel, 3 Carb. They've been taking good care of me. Supply me for the whole camp too. Um, Top Boxer's been making me some really good gloves. Branded Bills making this hat. Pay the Man. My boy Scott Stallings. Pay the Man official fundraiser. It's been awesome. I think that's always take good care of me. The MMA Lab, uh, Shield Systems, and all my training partners. So, and you, man, thanks for having me on. I always appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Love having you on. Definitely interesting guy. And how can everyone else follow you along on your journey? How can they get a hold of you, follow things, like things, see content, social media, the whole shebang?
Yeah, social media. Hot Sauce Holtzman at Hot Sauce Holtzy. Pretty easy, pretty straightforward. Um, or type in Hot Sauce UFC, you'll find me. It's pretty easy.
Awesome, awesome. Well, Scott Holtzman, thank you so much once again for taking out the time. Darrell Horcher is on your dinner plate, about to get doused in hot sauce. UFC Fresno, December 9th. Best of luck to you, sir.
Thanks, Eddie. Take care of yourself, man. I appreciate it.
So there you have it. Scott Hot Sauce Holtzman set to take on Darrell Horcher at UFC Fresno. That's going down December 9th. Go check that out. In the meantime, you can read me over at bloodyelbow.com. You can follow me on Twitter at the Eddie Mercado. If you like this interview, smash the like button. Subscribe to my channel right here. Subscribe to Bloody Elbow's YouTube channel right there. Check out these interviews right here. Now go be a good person.